While answering the questions, I didn't think about the final score. I just wanted to get as many questions correct as possible. First of all, I want to thank you and EG man. Because everything came to me. Everything that's best for me came towards me, coming right from AI power based approach. Obviously, the first thing would be to stick to the course. Whatever is given to you, follow it thoroughly. Don't deviate. Error logs, definitely, because if you are able to invest hundreds of hours in your preparation, so why not invest 10 to 15 minutes in maintaining the error log, right?
Hi, Praneeth. Welcome to this success story interview, and I'm really glad to have you. I hope you're doing well.
Hi, Dhruv. Yep, I'm glad to be back. You know,
Yeah,
lot to share.
I'm absolutely. I'm really happy to have you. This interview is going to be really helpful to a lot of aspirants out there who have so many questions. Before they start this journey, and
Yeah, I hope so.
yeah, and people like you are always there to help and give it back to the community. And I'm
Yeah,
really happy that you're doing this. And I hope this really helps a lot of people out there.
yep, me too.
So how excited are you to give this interview and share your journey with the people out there?
Yeah, I'm very much excited again because this is the first time we're meeting on video. That's one thing.
Right.
We only spoke a couple of times,
Yeah.
and yeah, there are a lot to discuss because I struggled a lot in this entire journey. There were
Right.
because of my tight work schedule. There are a lot that
Right.
I faced, and yeah, there's a lot to share.
Absolutely. Of course, I have been a part of this journey. I know quite a bit of it. We've been together in this journey through the thick and thins of the journey. But it's important that a lot of things come out, in public and people know more about it because I'm sure many of them out there will face certain situations similar to what you did, and
Hmm.
they'll have these ready-made answers and strategies to get out of those, right? So,
Yep.
Praneeth, I'll start with a very simple question.
Hmm.
I think I have already asked this question to you before as well when you told me that you scored a 730. But let everyone else know how does it feel to be amongst the top 4 percentile of the
Yeah.
test takers across the globe? That's a huge accomplishment. How does it
Yeah.
feel?
Yeah. Yeah. I feel really good because there was a time when I was stuck at 640s, and I second guessed myself if I would ever touch 700. And suddenly when I saw this huge improvement, and I knew that I developed the skills and I could do better. I'm targeting to do better, but
Right.
yeah, being at 96 percentile, yeah, it makes me really feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And let us know about your instinctive reaction to that score when it must have popped up on your screen. What
Yeah.
was happening? How did you react?
While answering the questions, I didn't think about the final score. I just wanted to get as many questions correct as possible.
Right.
And yeah, suddenly I like that adrenaline rush. Uh, the seconds you're about to see your score in front of the screen. That's the
Yeah.
best part of my exam, I would say. I like that feeling. And suddenly when I saw 730, okay, it's my marks are not purely based on luck. Okay, I did in fact develop my
Absolutely.
skills.
Yes. 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 People who will now go through your journey and will listen to you will surely, agree with what you're saying, and
Yeah,
they'll second your thoughts here that this
yeah,
is not luck. This is sheer hard
yes,
work.
yes.
Of course, we all need a bit of luck in life to just get that extra push,
Okay, yeah,
but this was pure hard work, and
yes.
I'm really sure about that. Right. Okay. So you just spoke about that adrenaline rush that you get
Hmm.
between submitting the score and then receiving the score, submitting your like whatever you've attempted, right?
Hmm.
So were you always excited about this even in the previous attempts when you were actually not scoring well, or was it just
Yeah,
this time because you were more confident? What was it?
no, definitely. Because whenever I give marks, when I was about to press attempt my last question,
Hmm.
I attempt it and then I just go away and have a drink because I need to feel that excitement.
Right.
Okay, what could be my score? So I need to process it. I need that feeling for at least a couple of seconds, and then I come and look at my score. And I feel good about it in my during my mocks. So I
Okay,
always like that rush.
okay. So you basically did what you always did during the mock as well. Something important for many people to know out there, to train yourself in a way that you do everything that you plan to do on the test day, and to
Yes.
everything each and every day. To
Yeah.
just train yourself and be prepared and be at ease, so that nothing seems to be new. That's great. That's a 7:30 after a lot of hard work, after
Yeah.
a few attempts. Now, before we go ahead with your journey, it'll be great if you can just help uh, the, the the listeners out there, the viewers out there, with a bit about your background. What do you do? Where do you come from? And what are you doing currently? And how does your day look like and stuff like that?
Okay. I'm currently in Andhra Pradesh, and I grew up in
Okay.
Andhra Pradesh for my entire life.
Mhm.
I have completed my electronics and communication engineering
Okay.
in 2021 at Manipal Institute of Technology.
Right.
And I've always been keen about data and analytics. So I did a minor specialization while I was in college in data science. And,
Mhm.
uh, you know, luckily I was able to join a leading analytics company. It's called Fractal Analytics. So currently I'm
Okay.
working as a data engineer there.
All right.
Yeah, that's a short version of my background.
Okay. And you work full time. You're a full time working
Yes,
professional.
I'm a full time. Yes.
Okay. That's great. That's great. So uh, now that we are starting with your journey, so let's start from the start. Okay.
Mhm.
So what occurred to you that made you feel that GMAT is something that I must give a shot at? What was it, and how did you come across the idea of taking the GMAT?
Okay, first, when I was in my final year, I wanted to give CAT. I gave CAT and I scored
Okay.
92 percentile. Then,
Wow, that's
when I
great.
was in fourth year,
Mhm.
but then again, I thought of GMAT came to my mind when I wanted more international exposure.
Right.
I wanted to join B schools, international MBA programs.
Mm.
So that's when it all started. And when I saw the structure of the GMAT,
Yeah.
I loved the concept of critical reasoning. I always
Okay.
love problem solving, and
Okay, that's
yeah,
great.
if something that you love is given in the form of an exam, so why not go ahead with that? So that was my
Absolutely.
thought. Actually. So and
Okay.
I'm always good at quant as well, and luckily there was quant in GMAT.
Oh yeah, I am a fan of your quant journey because it's one of those very rare smooth sailing,
Mhm.
uh, because that usually doesn't happen. People do falter at some stage, but quant for you was very easy. We'll come to that for sure. To let people know why was it easy, what did you do to make it easy? Because I'm very sure even though you were strong at it, but it must have needed some hard work. So we will come to that. So
Yeah.
now that you thought of taking the GMAT, right? Uh, what kind of research did you do in the background before you chose EGMAT, and then what brought you to EGMAT?
Okay, more than research, a lot of mistakes I would say before
Okay,
EGMAT.
please go ahead.
So I just started my preparation randomly. Now the internet is full of free resources. I just
Absolutely.
went to GMAT club and started answering, picking, selecting questions and answering them, and just go through the forums.
Right.
Searching for the correct answer solution that is
Yeah.
given to that question, and
Mm.
and then I realized that this wasn't. I needed prep course. So then I made another mistake. I'm not gonna say which prep course I went to before
Yeah,
the
sure.
GMAT, but
Absolutely. Yeah.
I felt like that is more of a course. It is suitable for those who needed practice, not the not to develop foundations.
Not the one starting
So
from scratch.
yes. So I directly enrolled into that and I solved all the questions, and
Right.
that's how I wasted a couple of my GMAT attempts.
Okay.
So yeah, I would say a lot of mistakes, and
Right.
yep.
So in the first few attempts, the unsuccessful ones, what I
Mhm.
understand is that you did not follow a structured approach. You simply just went on practicing questions. And
Yes.
what score did you end up getting, if you don't mind sharing it with the
I
people?
scored 640 in the first attempt,
Okay, okay,
and second 670. But there's no much improvement between first and second. It's just a
Yeah.
matter of 2-3 points, and
Right.
probably because I got hard questions correct, there was a 30-point improvement. But
All right.
but I was more or less at the same level during those
Okay.
unsuccessful.
All right. Okay. So you just followed an unstructured approach, and that's why you didn't do really well. So then, how did EGMAT happen? How did
Oh,
you
yeah.
get to hear about us?
As I mentioned before, I was good at quant.
Right.
So I scored 49 in both my attempts without much
Okay.
practice. But verbal was a disaster, I would say,
Yeah.
because I scored just 28, and I needed any prep course which focuses on verbal.
Right.
At least that's what I wanted. And
Right.
I got to know from my friend that EGMAT was good for
Right.
verbal, and he also gave MBA GMAT, and although he didn't take EGMAT, but he suggested
Mhm.
me. So I thought, why not give it a try, because
Right.
this is important for me. So that's
Absolutely.
how it started.
And this reminds me of one of the lines that you've written in your review on GC, when
Uh-huh.
you've said that, we've always heard about this quote that says practice makes the man perfect, but it's
Uh-huh.
not just practice, it's the right practice, the right way
Yes,
that
yes,
that
yes,
makes the man perfect. And I
yeah,
think that is what you were looking for, and that's what you got.
yes,
Right.
yes,
So that you've already spoken about quant being your strength and you being very at ease with quant.
yeah,
Let's speak about the easy things first, okay? So
okay,
you come from an engineering background, and I think that is
yes,
possibly the reason why
yeah.
quant was a
That is
cakewalk.
that is the reason, because right from my childhood, I've been keen at math. Okay, I love
Okay,
the algorithms, I love the theorems,
right.
and then I did my MPC in my intermediate.
Mhm.
So that's how my entire life was based on quant.
Okay,
So that's why it was very easy for me, and
all
I
right,
just need little practice to score 50-51.
right.
But even without practice, I was able to secure 49.
You're right,
Yeah.
right. So I was going through your, account, and I saw that the cementing process for quant,
Mhm.
it wasn't much of a hassle for you. You just
Yeah,
breezed through it.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, so apart from just having your own comfort with quant, what was it about the course that actually helped you become more confident and better at your skills?
Yeah, yeah. So I made the best decision joining EasyMed for the following reason as well.
Okay,
As I said, I was already good at quant, but
right.
I didn't want to waste much of my time, my
Mm,
preparation time in quant. So,
yeah,
and then I saw this future AI pace for
right.
AI pace. So
Yeah,
that best suited to my needs, because I was able to identify where I actually lack in quant. Even though quant was my strength, I still uh, need to develop my skills to get to 51.
mm,
So that AI powered pace, that algorithm helped me a lot.
yeah,
So save me a lot of time.
yeah. You said more than 30 hours
Yes, yes.
on the
I was able
entire
to
quant course.
yeah, I was able to identify where I lack,
Yeah,
and then I focused on those areas. For example, in advanced topics, I was doing horribly. I
yeah,
realized after going through that course. And word problems, there's a huge amount of a lot of efforts I have put in
right,
word problems.
right. So I think the Pace AI is tailor-made for people like you
Yes,
who are pretty confident about their quantitative skills and just want to either maintain it or maybe improve it a little and just focus on the gaps that need to be fixed rather than going through the entire course
yes.
from scratch. So that's something that's great. Uh, uh, and how do you think the cementing quizzes helped you? Because I read your review on GC, and you
Mhm.
mentioned somewhere that you love the cementing quiz concept. So
Yeah.
what reasons behind that?
So as I mentioned again earlier, I was doing a lot of practice, right? But
Right,
I couldn't see any results in the despite doing
Hmm.
a lot of questions. But
right,
and then I realized maybe there's something I was missing, and that's
right,
exactly what this is, the cementing. Because
Hmm.
you need to be know for sure that you have the skills developed, right?
Yeah,
And that's how this cementing is designed.
right,
And I know it's sometimes it's frustrating, if you
It
fail
is.
the cementing, you'll
Yes.
have to go through it once again, the entire process
Yes.
cycle. and
Yes.
and that's what you need, if you want to stand out with high score.
Right.
And it gave me an opportunity to identify my weak areas. I mean, sometimes my scores would belly my approach.
Yeah.
Sometimes if I look at my score, it would be uh, it I realized that okay, I'm really good at this, and then I give the next attempt, next quiz, and then I score really low.
Right.
So then there has to be some problem, right? And
Right.
this cementing process identified what those problems are, and
Right.
it played a huge part in improving my ability.
Yeah. You're right. Because the cementing process is a little, what do you say? It's a little, process which needs a lot of hard work and a lot of patience.
Yeah. Yes.
It can be a little disheartening sometimes, but
Yes.
at the end of the day, it is something that will always reward you
Yeah.
when you thoroughly deserve it. It won't simply reward you because you've been trying hard every single time,
Yeah.
right? But you know what, Pranit, what I liked about your approach here, because you're right when you say that there were a bit of fluctuations in the score. But I also remember that you never overdid, cementing quizzes. You did not just take cementing quizzes out of frustration just because, what, I've scored low, I'll take one more and this time I'll score
That's
high. You went back, right? So just take us through that little part of the cementing process.
so I didn't want to waste. There are only limited cementing pieces, right?
Yeah,
So just for the sake of clearing it, going back and taking it at the bad time would deplete your resources, your own resources.
absolutely. Yeah,
So once I fail that cycle, right, I need to go back where I did wrong, why I did wrong, and if
right.
there are anything that I can improve. And
Hmm.
then when I have a fresh mind, then only I took the cementing quiz, because ultimately
Yeah,
you take entire GMAT exam with a fresh mind, not when you
absolutely.
exhausted your resources,
Yeah,
stamina, right?
yeah.
So yeah, that's how I
Uh,
feel.
that's actually really good because it is important to use your resources wisely because and this is a very good decision that you kept on taking repeatedly every time you felt that you were falling,
Yeah.
right? And uh, that's probably because uh, we always tell students during the onboarding sessions, during the orientation when they're just about to start, that GMAT is not just about preparing and practicing. It's also about taking those right decisions and taking those wise decisions, right?
Yes.
That also plays a huge part in how you end up scoring. And I think these were some really good decisions that you took. And I'm glad that you brought
Yeah.
these things up here. Okay. Yeah, Pranit, so you've also written about and also discussed about foundation being one of the key components of the course because you mentioned
Hmm.
that in the previous test prep company that you were uh, prepping with was actually meant for people who just needed practice, but
Yes.
you needed to build that foundation from scratch and wanted to solidify your base. So
Yeah.
just tell me, what did you do to build the foundation and how did EGMAT help you there as well?
So I wanted to revamp my entire thought process. Okay.
Hmm.
So I wanted to flush out whatever I have learned first,
Yeah,
and then start again.
yeah,
So yeah, I love how EGMAT has prepared the course in such a way that you get exactly what you needed for EGMAT.
right.
Nothing more, nothing less. Exactly what you needed,
Yeah,
and right from meaning-based approach, right from you know uh,
the pre-thinking approach.
pre-thinking and stop points that you need to develop
Yeah.
in RC.
Hmm.
Yeah, those all helped in my foundation, and I didn't need much of a quant foundation, but I first focus mainly on verbal.
Right.
Yeah, and I would say I got a lot from the course.
Yeah. So, when you speak about these, methods and approaches like meaning-based approach, a pre-thinking approach, and you also mentioned about something that you had to flush out a lot of things, right? You had to unlearn.
Yes,
So,
yes,
majority of the students who usually uh, start their preparation with us, they usually find or face this challenge of unlearning the approach that they're already comfortable with. Because look, everybody who starts the prep has this instinctive approach. Everybody does, even I had,
Yeah.
right? Even you must have had, right?
Mhm.
But when you come to EGMAT and you start with your master comprehension, that is the basics, then you go to SC, then CR, we suggest you to use a particular approach that gives you more consistent results,
Yes,
right? So
I agree.
how challenging was it to unlearn and then learn? Because it's not something which comes naturally to many people
Yes,
out there.
yes, yeah. So, so when I first started the course, that was the first time I came across meaning-based approach. I never knew
Okay.
about that approach at all. And
Okay.
to my surprise, there are a lot of questions that are based on meaning-based approach because I
Uh,
came across some questions where two or three options are completely grammatically correct, and I thought
okay.
the entire question was wrong, and I was surprised that in GMAT prep, practice questions, how can there be incorrect entire questions, right? There must be
Right.
something going on. And that's when I started my EGMAT journey. I came to know about that approach, and that made sense as well, from business
Yeah.
point of view. What
Yeah.
the author is trying to convey, that's what meaning based approach is, right? And that
Right.
made sense. And yeah, it took a lot of effort to unlearn whatever, because sometimes unknowingly apply some different methods and I
Yeah.
get the questions wrong, and then
Yeah.
I have to go. I maintain this at error logs as suggested.
Yeah.
So I go there and I fill it up, and then I realize then that okay, this shouldn't be how I should have done. There was a process that was given to me. I should apply that process. Then
Right.
why did I use this process? So and error logs played an important role here for me to
Yeah.
unlearn what I had before starting my journey.
You're right. Right.
Yeah.
Coming to error logs, and this is something very interesting that you brought up.
Uh-huh.
So, your previous two attempts, which were unsuccessful,
Yeah.
okay, uh, were you maintaining the error log then as well, or it all started after you failed a couple of times and then you realized, okay, I need to
Uh,
course correct?
Not exactly an error log, I would say. It's just if I come across something new, right, I would just point that out. Not the questions that I got wrong, but any
Okay.
new concept, any new idiom, or any new phrase
Mm.
in SC, I would just make a note of it. But that didn't help me at all because I never came across those again in my entire
Right.
journey.
Right.
So no, before my third attempt, I started maintaining error logs.
Right. So I think maybe you just course corrected yourself after the first few attempts.
Yes.
Also, in the first couple of attempts, you always knew that verbal is going to be your challenge, okay, that
Yeah.
ultimate challenge.
Yeah.
So if I talk about the first two attempts and the one that you succeeded in finally, these two
Mhm.
different parts of the journey,
Mhm.
what was it that you didn't do in the first two attempts
Mhm.
that you changed and started applying in the second one, in the last attempt, right? That actually made all the difference. Like error log is one thing that you mentioned. Anything else that you applied later, which you
Yeah,
didn't before?
definitely. This meaning-based approach, as I said, I didn't
Okay,
know the concept of it at all, and then pre-thinking that really completely changed my perspective of how
right,
I should answer critical reasoning questions.
right,
Because previously what I did was I read the argument and I directly jump. I rely on the options.
right,
I hope that some answer would be the correct one, and
mm,
I want answers to drive my thought process, not the other way around.
right,
That's what I learned from pre-thinking. You develop
mm,
it and you cherry pick the answers from you,
yeah,
whatever the thoughts you have in mind. Previously
yeah,
I used to do the reverse. So that not only helped me in GMAT, but in real life as well, right? It
yeah,
developed me a process, the way of thinking that I should
yeah,
tackle in real world problems. So that's one thing, pre-thinking. And
mm,
the other one is in RC. So
okay,
what I used to do previously was I skim through the passage, and then when I try to
okay,
answer, I would go back again.
go back,
First
yeah,
first I would search which paragraph it is talking about.
yeah,
Searching that paragraph itself takes some time. and then going through that paragraph again, and then reading the question, making the connections, and getting to the answer would take around 8 10 minutes there itself. Then how
Right.
am I gonna solve it in 3 minutes, 3 or 4 minutes, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when I came across this uh, stop
The
point method,
pause points. Yeah.
the pause point, where you read through, skim through the sentence, you stop there, understand it, get it in
The
your mind.
meaning. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not always perfect. Sometimes we forget, even though no matter
Absolutely.
how many times you stop, you forget. But at least it will give you an idea, at least outline of the paragraph, where it lies,
Mm.
which paragraph the question is talking about.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you get the answer right away, right? You can
Right.
just mark it. And if at all it is a trick question or some complicated question, then you could directly go to that passage or a paragraph, and
Right.
then it makes your it reduces the time to solve that question.
Mm.
So yeah, these are the three major things that
Right.
I applied of before my third attempt.
Right. So a V28 to a V39.
Yeah.
Right. That's a huge gap that you've covered.
Yeah.
And although this looks like just 11 points, but these 11 points had a huge journey in between. And I think the things like you just mentioned, the meaning-based approach, pre-thinking approach, pause points for RC, the error log. I think these were all the ladders that the steps that you used to cover that huge distance. Um, so how confident were you about getting a V39 on the test day?
So subconsciously I knew that I developed skills after giving my two mocks, right? The
Yeah,
first mock,
absolutely.
I scored 740. Second, I scored 730. So I knew somewhere that okay, I developed
Yeah.
this. I
Yes.
developed it. Maybe if I get lucky, I could improve my points by 2 3.
Yeah,
But there's no way I'm gonna score less than that. That I knew
absolutely.
that for sure. So
Yeah.
yeah, I got the exact score, exact number of right question, right, correct answers and wrong answers as I got in my final GMAT as
In
I
in
did
the
in
Sigma X
mock.
mark as well.
Yeah, yeah,
Right. Pretty predictable, I think, right?
yeah, very reliable.
That's
I mean
something
that.
good.
To my surprise, it was very reliable. I didn't think of it, to be this reliable because
Mm.
I thought GMAT is an adaptive process, right?
Yeah,
There's no way you can replicate it. That's
yeah,
for
you
sure.
cannot.
There's no way. The best you could do is, get, somehow predict the score.
Yeah,
Predict that you are in that range. And yeah,
yeah.
these marks were reliable. And I have two more, and I hope I make good use of them later.
Coming to this, that you still have two more,
Yeah.
and what I have already spoken about. You've made those very wise decisions through the course. People usually exhaust their mocks. Okay. Uh, One second, because it's mainly out of a bit of anxiety that they want to see that score, which is very natural.
Yeah.
Okay. But you always made sure that you took it only when you were sure and only
Yeah.
when you discussed with me and when both of us agreed that, okay, this is the right time
Yeah.
to hammer the mocks. So just take us through that little decision making journey
Uh-huh.
that always help you make those wise decisions. What was the
Yeah.
mindset when you were thinking about what to do next?
See, when I was going through the course, I knew the amount of research the team has put into in developing those questions.
Right.
It's not about the quantity; it's about the quality. The
Yeah.
right questions you practice, the right skills you develop, and I knew
Yeah.
that I shouldn't exhaust these questions. I need to
Mm.
make best out of them,
Mm.
and I know that there can only be limited marks, right?
Yeah.
And one I have already used, to setting up my base score
The
for the
start score.
plan
Yeah.
to for the plan to be developed for me.
Yeah.
And I knew I can't simply take marks for the sake of taking it, or in the hope that I already stand at 700.
Yeah.
I
Those
need to
three
make
magical numbers.
I need to make sure that I am ready for it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I would say the quality of the marks made me wait, have patience until I develop the skills, and only then take the
Wow.
marks.
That's something very nice that you just said.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that you've taken those very good decisions and you still have two marks left. Okay, we can think about it. All right. Coming to the next phase of your uh, prep, right?
Mhm.
So we covered the foundation. You started from scratch. You unlearned, you learned again, you practiced, you trained yourself, you finished the course, you finished cementing, you did well on the test readiness quizzes. Uh, Now was the time for that last mile push, right?
Yes.
And I did not, if you ask me, my perspective, I did not want to waste a single minute, okay, in asking you to enroll yourself in LMP and to work with you.
Yeah.
Because one, because you displayed all those diligent qualities that we expect out of students who want to score what you did, right? Because diligence plays a key role here. And also to go through the course the right way, because the course is created and built in the right sequence. I think you mentioned, right? The course will give you exactly what you need at the right time,
Yes.
right? So following the sequence the right way is important. And you were always in touch with me,
Yeah.
even before I asked you for the LMP program. But I was really sure that you will succeed with LMP because I could see that you had done all the basics were done, the foundation was set. All you needed now was a bit of direction, a bit of guidance, a
Yes.
bit of hyper-specific approach
Yeah.
to suit your needs, and that's when LMP happened.
Yeah.
If you just want to summarize your experience of the last mile push, how did it go, and how did it help you in the last few days of your prep?
Yeah. First of all, I want to thank you and EG Matt. Because
Pleasure.
everything came to me. Everything that's best for me came towards me, coming right from AI power based
Right.
approach, and till now, after the cementing, I knew that I have developed the skills, but
Yeah.
timing was a big issue for me. and,
Yes.
and I didn't know whether I if a question is given to me, I could solve it, within
Mm.
limited time. But I
Yeah.
don't know if I could sit through the entire exam,
Yeah.
and still
Stamina.
score the high scores, right?
Yeah.
So that's when you suggested me to take this LMP program, enroll in
Yeah.
it, and yeah, the structure that you have given to me,
Yeah.
I follow that to the T, and yeah, that's when it just boosted my confidence, right? That
Right.
I could actually score well, given
Right.
more questions and given different types of questions in different
Right.
formats. So that's how I was able to. I would say MLM. I would attribute the 732 LMP, as well.
Wow, that's so sweet. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I would not
because
want to take all the credit because uh, this was once again your decision. So
yeah.
I think it goes back to you. I was just a part of it. So I'm just glad to be a part of this 730,
Yeah,
Praneeth. But
actually, to think of it, I was skeptical. Why do I need LMP?
why do I need it? Yeah.
I already have the skills. I already practiced everything.
Hmm.
Why do I want that? But
This,
then I didn't want to waste marks again. And there must be a reason, right? Why
yeah.
for every programs that are created. So I just want
Yeah.
to give it a go. And yeah, I made good decision, I would say.
Yeah. Once again. Yeah. LMP is fruitful only when you are in that last mile
Mhm.
of your prep.
Yeah,
And you reach there only when you've set a solid foundation,
yeah,
when you've been diligent throughout your foundational phase of the journey, when you made those right decisions there, uh, that's when you reach that last mile,
yeah.
right? And the last mile push will benefit you and will show you results only once you've set the foundation and now you're ready to build up your stamina, your test taking skills, and a bit of guidance to where you know when to take the test, when to take those mixed quizzes, when to take the mock. These are little things that you know change the course of the prep, and I think that's what helped you as well.
Yeah,
So 730 looks like a very rosy picture,
yeah,
but only you, me, and a few more loved ones, okay, of yours would know what all you went through.
yeah.
Nobody would know more than you yourself. I know about a few hiccups that we had. Uh, what do you think was the most challenging phase of your prep journey?
Balancing, I would say, because being a full-time employee, I have to work 9, 10 hours a day, and being a
Okay.
fresher as well, and
Right.
and because I was given a lot of responsibilities being a fresher, and
Okay.
I proved myself basically, and I was given a lot of responsibilities, so I had to work
Mm.
more than others. So,
Yeah.
and being that I would be exhausted by the time I'm done with my work,
Mhm.
and in the evening, there's no way I could solve the questions. I will just waste these questions, and I
Yeah.
wouldn't be in the right mood. So that is the most challenging part, and hope and luckily I have weekends, so that's when I
Mm.
made best
Most
use
of
of
it.
this, yeah, these resources.
Right.
And to think of it, I made a structure to myself that
Okay.
when I get exhausted in the evening, I go to gym, you know,
Okay.
because I'm not in the right mood. I might as well go and be fit, right? So I go to
Yeah.
gym, and I get further exhausted, so I get a good sleep, and I wake up early in the morning at 5:30.
Fresh.
So that's when I start
Okay.
my preparation till 9 o'clock, and then
Okay.
I start my work again. So this process continued uh, for 2 3 months, and yeah, that's
Wow.
how I managed it.
So, Praneeth, you started your day at 5:30 in the morning,
Yeah, yeah.
and you started your prep at what, 6:30 maybe? And then when did you go to your office, start working?
No,
What time?
because it was work from home, right? So
Okay.
I didn't have to waste my time for the
Okay. You
travel,
save
right?
time on the
Yeah,
commute.
yeah,
That's good.
that was one good.
So what time did you log in,
So I used to log in at 9:30,
and
and
when did you
then
log
I
out?
had to work till 7 o'clock in the evening. And
Okay.
then there's no way I could, have a right mood
Absolutely.
to solve problems. So
That would need a superhuman effort.
yeah,
Wow, such a long day for so many
yeah,
months.
yeah,
Praneeth, uh, wow. I mean, this actually uh, makes your journey even more special to me because a person putting in so many hours of hard work,
yeah.
5:30 to maybe what time would you sleep?
I sleep at 10, exactly at 10,
10.
because I have to wake up early. So that's
Yeah.
how 2 3 months went on.
Wow. So did this also demand a lot of sacrifice on your
Ah,
hobbies?
definitely, because every weekend I have to make best use of time, all the hours, and I missed going with going with friends, but I had to, because at least for 2 3 months, there has
Yeah.
to be some sacrifices. If you want something, you need to lose something, at least for
Hmm.
on a temporary basis.
Temporarily.
Yeah,
Yeah. And that makes a lot of sense.
yeah,
Right. So uh, the journey with EGMAT, with me, uh, I'm sure we've just discussed almost everything, but I'm sure there were a few people who were your support system outside EGMAT, at home, maybe your
hmm,
friends.
hmm.
So just help us know who were those people who were always there with you, who understood your schedule, who changed their schedule as per your needs and your demands. So
Yeah.
just let us know who those people are.
My parents, obviously,
Of
because
course.
they took up house chores for me
Oh,
for these
okay.
time. And yeah, and I would say my colleagues as well, because
Okay.
one of my colleague is IIM graduate, and he helped me, how to prepare, how to juggle between your work life, and then
Right.
preparation time. Yeah, I would say he contributed some as well, and
Wow.
I
I
got
mean,
very
mm,
good advice from him. So
okay. Because he comes from IIM Ahmedabad, you said, right?
no, I am I don't know the which I am,
Okay,
but
okay. But coming
yeah, he
from an
went through this
IIM,
entire journey again.
he knows. Yes, that's what I was
Yeah,
trying to say. He knows. He's been there. He's done that.
yeah,
He knows what exactly it takes. You are fortunate to have somebody like him as well because you always need that hand on the shoulder, right?
yeah.
Just tell you that, you know what, I've done it. I know it'll all be fine at the end of the day, right? So Pranit, you do not plan to apply to the B schools right now. So what
Yeah.
exactly are the next steps? What do you plan?
So I am aiming for 760 or above. So I
Okay.
know that I have the will and I have the resources, I would say.
Yeah.
So I can score 760 or above. And besides that, I need to reflect on what I want to do in MBA. I don't want to rush in just for the sake of doing MBA. I have to do MBA. I wanted to do what I exactly want, and yeah, that's what for that I need some time. So
Right.
I
Right.
think, and
So,
I have limited work experience as well. So
okay.
I
So you want to
I only
build
have
on
two,
that.
2 years work experience, but I need to
Okay.
show progress in my company for a while and then apply.
Right. So since we are coming to the end of this interview, Praneeth, uh, let us just sign off by you sharing some three best practices that you
Mhm.
believe helped you reach where you did, or three best practices that you would advise
Okay.
the new aspirants to follow, and if they wish to get into the top 4% test takers globally.
Okay. Obviously, the first thing would be to stick to the course. Whatever it is given to you, follow it thoroughly. Don't deviate from it.
Yeah.
And I know sometimes it could be exhausting. Sometimes it would
Yeah.
lower your confidence. It will
It
because
will.
you will come across some failed attempts in the quizzes. I would say in cementing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So which would only mean that you're not yet at that point. You still have to develop something, and that's for our own sake, right? you know
Yeah.
uh, Getting to know our failures before is better than at the
Going out
exam
there
time.
and failing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This time will be the best time to know about them.
Mm.
That would be one. And second one would be error logs, definitely, because if you are able to invest hundreds of hours in your
Mm.
preparation, so why not invest 10 to 15 minutes in maintaining the error log, right?
Right.
Because it subconsciously inculcate what you are doing wrong and
Mm.
how you could avoid those mistakes. Because when you go through the error log, you will get the opportunity to know why you did this, why not the actual approach that was given to you. Do you have to unlearn anything, or is it just a silly mistake? If you invest some time thinking about this, I think
Right.
it will. You wouldn't know it, but it will. Trust me, it will develop your ability.
Right.
So that's the beauty of error logs. And the third one would be, a right balance between your work life and
Right.
prep time. So just do not attempt anything when you are tired.
Mm.
Yeah, even though it takes time,
That's
pick
important.
the right time to practice. I would say. For me, it
Right.
worked. It worked early in the morning, but that wouldn't be the same for others, right? So
Absolutely.
choose your own timing and make the best of it out of it. And yeah, it will need some sacrifices, but it's for your own good.
Absolutely. What I can tell the viewers out there is that the three practices that Ranjit spoke about right now, they're absolutely on point, and that's something that even I would preach and promote. So thank you so much for doing this, Pranit. It was a pleasure interviewing you and once again reliving your journey. And I hope you also felt a bit nostalgic going back to the start and once again reliving this.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, during the interview, when at, at one point I'm speaking to you, and the other point I'm reimagining everything.
Going
So
back.
that's why you might see some hiccups here and there. I forgot that I was talking to you. I'm just thinking about what I did then. So
Wow, I'm
yeah,
glad you had
and
a
it,
great time.
yeah, and it was pleasure talking to you, and telling everyone what I have gone through and how EGMAT helped me.
We are glad to be here to have been a part of your journey,
Yeah,
and we are still here to be a part of your journey from here onwards as well.
yeah,
Just feel free to reach out to us whenever you need any help, and we'll
yeah,
be right there.
yeah.
Right. Thank you so much, Praneeth.
Thank you.